Epic of the Living Path, a six-part spoken word cycle in the Brillaris New Humanity voice. An echo enters the room, a soft footstep on a wooden stage, like somebody just walked into your story before you were ready to say his name. Lights low, breath held. Act 1, the cast. Listen, before history starts rolling, before the first star blinks awake in the dark, before anybody builds a skyscraper, brands enlightenment, or charges admission to the sacred, there is the real one. Not a god throwing lightning from a safe distance, not a cosmic chief executive barking orders from the top floor. The real one is closer than that. Think of a quiet street artist tagging hope on brick walls nobody photographs. Think of an early morning gardener slipping seeds into cracked sidewalks. Think of a presence that looks you straight in the eyes while you tell the whole ugly story and does not flinch. The sovereign speaks, and atoms line up like they understood the assignment. Dust lifts its face, time opens its eyes, rhythms form, worlds spin, oceans listen, mountains stand at attention, and somewhere between supernovas and soil, a new thing stands upright and asks, "What am I?" Call that new thing humanity. Half marvelous work, half walking emergency. Hands that can build shelter or build cages. Voices that can bless somebody's day or bruise them for years. Minds that can map galaxies and still get lost inside their own fear. Humanity is the one walking the old path. Eyes bright, stomach knotted, born of stardust, stuck in skin that doubts itself. Picture a commuter on a packed subway, one hand on a sticky rail, eyes on a map that keeps changing names. Next stop, more money. Next stop, respect. Next stop, burnout. Rent is climbing, trust is low. The phone keeps glowing. The soul keeps asking, is this all there is? That is the old path mood, a tightrope between wonder and war. Now picture one lone inventor, fingers stained with ink, grease, and hungry dreams, hunched over a workbench in a dim garage that smells like coffee, metal, and regret. He builds an engine, half steel, half prophecy, a heart of bolts and voltage meant to redefine what far away even means. On paper, it is flawless. In his head, it is salvation. But the first time he fires it up, the machine coughs like it is choking on its own genius, belching smoke into a neighborhood that never asked to be the experiment. That is us in one frame. Humanity, brilliant enough to crack open tomorrow, fragile enough to weaponize its own invention. Always one spark away from lighting the road forward or burning down the whole block. If you have ever looked at religion, politics, family, technology, or your own reflection and thought, if this is the system, I do not trust it, you are not broken. You may be awake. And now another figure steps into the frame. Emmanuel, the chosen restorer, living word in street clothes. The one who does not send a memo from the penthouse, but walks the cracked sidewalks himself. Not the mascot of an institution, not a brand ambassador for fear, not a distant emblem for people who know how to sound holy while leaving the wounded outside. Emmanuel is life entering the room, life with dust on his feet, life with mercy in his hands, life with truth in his mouth, life that death will try to bury and fail. Then there is the eternal spark, not a trend, not a self-help app, not the ego calling itself divine. The eternal spark is the living presence of Emmanuel awakening within us. Counselor when the mind spirals at 3 a.m. Advocate when shame drags the soul into court. Ultimate authenticity when the world pressures you to become a product, a profile, a personal brand. Anything but a real person. The spark is how the sovereign still speaks in a way your nervous system can survive, especially if God talk has been used against you before. And beyond the far side of the story, there is new humanity. Not robots, not spiritual influencers, not polished people pretending they have escaped the struggle. New humanity is people being rewired from within by the life of Emmanuel. People who carry presence without performing, who create without exploiting, who love without turning love into a weapon, who rebuild the world without becoming another empire. This is the cast. The real one speaks. Emmanuel walks. The eternal spark ignites. Humanity questions. New humanity co-creates. Speaker, walker, igniter, questioner, co-creator. This is the arc. From humanity as we are, confused, brilliant, dangerous, to new humanity as we can become, steady, luminous, dangerous only to despair, to empire, and to every lie that feeds on fear. Guided by the tri-unity, speaker, walker, spark, the original community at the center of everything, who refuse to let the story end as tragedy. Act 2. The Old Path. In the inception, the sovereign sings, and light answers. Earth arrives fresh, alive, unashamed. Every color screams good. Every river carries music. Every creature moves like the world still knows how to breathe. Humanity wakes in a garden where shame does not yet know our address. No masks, no performance, no hunger to dominate, no fear hiding behind ambition. The first vocation is not hustle. It is communion, to receive, to tend, to name, to love, to create. But the old path begins when humanity starts suspecting that love is not enough. A whisper enters. Take control, secure yourself, become your own source. Turn gift into possession, turn power into armor, turn desire into law. We listen. The garden becomes a courtroom. The body becomes a hiding place. The neighbor becomes competition. The world becomes material. We do not just fall down, we fall inward, curving around the self until even our prayers start sounding like advertisements. Then systems rise. Empire learns how to dress fear in official language. Religion learns how to bless what love never authorized. Violence learns how to call itself order. Greed learns how to call itself wisdom. Shame learns how to sound like discipline. And humanity keeps building. Towers, markets, weapons, platforms, brands, doctrines, algorithms. Some of it is genius. Some of it is grief wearing a hard hat. We invent tools that can connect the continents and still leave people starving for one honest conversation. We build cities bright enough to see from space and still let loneliness rent entire floors inside the heart. We preach peace with clenched fists. We sell freedom with subscriptions. We turn children of dust and breath into consumers, content, data, and demographics. That is the old path. Life reduced to survival. Love reduced to leverage. Creativity reduced to product. And the soul told to be grateful for the cage because the cage has better lighting now. But the real one does not abandon the marvelous work. The sovereign keeps calling, through visionaries, through widows, through exiles, through songs, through the stubborn ache in every honest person who says, "This cannot be what we were made for." The call keeps moving through history like a bass line underneath the noise. Return, wake up, come home, become human again. And still we cannot heal ourselves by willpower. We need more than instruction. We need more than inspiration. We need more than a new system with prettier slogans. We need life. Not borrowed life, not performed life, not religious life as costume. The life that was there before the first breath. The life death did not create and death cannot cancel. So Emmanuel comes. Act 3. Emmanuel enters the noise. Emmanuel does not arrive like Empire expected. No armored motorcade, no celebrity rollout, no marketing funnel, no throne built from other people's backs. He enters small, a child under pressure, a body in danger, a voice growing up in occupied streets. The real message learns hunger, learns sweat, learns grief, learns the strange weight of being fully human in a world that keeps forgetting what human means. He walks into the neighborhood where religion has become performance, where power has become extraction, where the wounded are treated like interruptions, and the poor are treated like evidence of their own failure. And he does not flinch. He touches the untouchable. He eats with the misnamed. He sees the invisible. He tells the powerful the truth and tells the ashamed they are not beyond mercy. Everywhere he goes, life starts leaking into places death claimed as property. Dead hope sits up. Dead dignity breathes again. Dead courage opens its eyes. Dead love remembers its name. This is not motivational energy. This is resurrection beginning before the grave. Emmanuel shows us what humanity looks like when the eternal source is fully alive in flesh. Truth without cruelty, mercy without cowardice, authority without domination, sacredness without disgust, creativity without ego, love without manipulation. He is not merely a teacher pointing toward life. He is life walking. And that life is unstoppable. Not loud because it is insecure. Not forceful because it lacks power. Unstoppable because it comes from the source beneath all sources. Empires can threaten it. Religions can mislabel it. Crowds can misunderstand it. Friends can abandon it. Systems can sentence it. Soldiers can nail it down. But they cannot own it. They cannot corrupt it. They cannot keep it buried. Death meets Emmanuel and discovers it has overreached. The grave receives him and becomes the place where death loses its argument. They bury the body. They cannot bury the life. They seal the tomb. They cannot seal the source. They post guards. They cannot guard against resurrection. The life of Emmanuel rises through death and comes out carrying the keys. That is the center of the message. Death could not hold him, and the life he carries cannot be buried in you. Act 4. The eternal spark within. Now the story turns inward. Not inward toward ego. Not inward toward self-worship. Not inward toward the little throne where fear pretends to be God. Inward toward the place where the life of Emmanuel begins to awaken within the human soul. The eternal spark is not your mood, not your vibe, not your private fantasy of being important. The eternal spark is the living witness of Emmanuel in you, the sacred pressure toward truth, the quiet fire toward mercy, the inner resistance to becoming what wounded you. It is the reason you can be exhausted and still feel one small refusal to surrender to cynicism. It is the reason you can be ashamed and still hear a deeper voice saying, "Stand up, I am not finished with you." It is the reason creativity returns after despair has already written the obituary. The spark does not flatter the ego. It resurrects the person. It enters the dead rooms, dead imagination, dead tenderness, dead courage, dead trust, dead purpose. And one by one, it calls them by name. Rise. This life is not soft in the way fear defines soft. It can forgive and still confront. It can weep and still rebuild. It can kneel and still overthrow the lie. It can love enemies without surrendering to evil. It can walk into death and leave death stripped of its final word. So when Brillaris says Emmanuel lives within us, it does not mean the self is the source. It means the deepest life in us is not the ego. It is Emmanuel, the living source beneath the noise. The life that overcame death in him now awakens in us as new life, real love, fearless truth, and creative fire. This is why creativity matters, because when Emmanuel moves within a person, new worlds begin as whispers. A song, a page, a repair, a meal, a bridge, a confession, a clean apology, a refusal to exploit, a vision for a street, a family, a city, a future less ruled by fear. Creativity is not just talent. It is resurrection practicing with materials. Love is not just emotion. It is resurrection taking responsibility for the neighbor. New life is not just survival. It is resurrection rebuilding the interior architecture of a human being.
Act 5. The Living Path.
The living path is not an escape route from the world. It is the way Emmanuel teaches us to become alive inside it. Step by step, choice by choice, repair by repair, truth by truth. The old path says, prove, perform, perfect, protect the image, punish the threat, call it wisdom. The living path says, receive, respond, repair, return to presence, create from love, walk in truth. The old path says, control people before they hurt you. The living path says, become so rooted in Emmanuel that fear no longer gets to author your behavior. The old path turns pain into a personality. The living path turns pain into compassion with boundaries. The old path builds empires out of insecurity. The living path builds communities out of healed responsibility. And this is slow work, unglamorous work, sacred work. The eternal spark renovates the hidden rooms. The spark rewires reactions, repaints narratives, questions motives, breaks addictions to applause, interrupts the old soundtrack. Prove yourself, brand yourself, defend yourself, save yourself. Then the spark teaches a new rhythm. You are received, now respond. You are loved, now love. You are forgiven, now become safe for others. You are alive, now create life. This is where spiritual bypassing loses its shine. Love and light talk that dodges accountability starts to taste like stale sugar. Charisma without character stops looking like a gift and starts looking like a ticking bomb. Influence without humility begins to look like empire wearing better shoes. The living path refuses that. New humanity is not people who checked yes on a belief form. New humanity is people whose insides are being rearranged to match the life of Emmanuel. Not perfect people, not polished people, not people who never fall, people who return faster, repair deeper, tell the truth cleaner, love without needing control, create without harvesting souls. If you have ever sat on the floor of your life surrounded by broken habits, burned bridges, and the quiet ache of consequences, and somehow felt conviction and comfort in the same breath, you have already tasted the living path. The deepest, marvelous works happen where nobody is filming.
Act 6. Brilliant Horizons. Zoom out. New humanity was never meant to be a solo project. As the eternal spark rewires individuals, renewal pathways begin forming between them. At dinner tables, in studios, in kitchens, in group chats, in recovery circles, in neighborhoods nobody puts on postcards. Unified community does not mean clones. It looks like mosaic. Different cultures, different languages, different wounds, different songs, held together by a common center, not a common enemy. Chosen no longer means better than. Chosen means responsible for. If you have been healed, you join the healing crew. If you have been forgiven, you become a safer place for somebody else's confession. If life has raised something dead in you, you become evidence that the grave does not get the final word. New humanity forms cells of resistance against despair. Kitchens feeding the unhoused. Studios where art is made without exploitation. Living rooms where racism is not only called out, but unlearned. Group texts where the first response to crisis is, "I am on my way," not, "I told you so." New ways to imagine money, not as God, not as ghost, but as a tool in the hands of the just. New ways to hold power, not as a ladder to climb, but as a table to widen. New ways to design cities where beauty is not gated behind wealth and parks feel as sacred as stained glass. Brilliant horizons stretch forward. Music that heals instead of numbing. Media that tells the truth and still leaves room for hope. Technology that connects without hooking people like a slot machine. Schools that teach children how to feel as well as how to think. All of this is still in beta, half-built, glitching forward, improvising, messing up, doubling back, apologizing, trying again. But the arc is different now. Empire has been named. Violence has been named. Spiritual abuse has been named. The masks are coming off. The costumes are being dragged into the light. Agency and presence are being distributed into ordinary lives. Inner integrity is becoming non-negotiable infrastructure. Communities are learning not only what they are against, but what they are building for. And then the script hints at ultimate disclosure. The veil lifts, not with cheap spectacle, but like a dawn that refuses to stay on the horizon. Every mask comes off. Every illusion gets audited. Every system has to answer. Did you serve love, or did you serve yourself? The sovereign's intent for creation stands center stage, a cosmos humming with justice, mercy, beauty, and fearless communion. New humanity is there too, not as passive audience, but as co-creators who learned in the dark how to hold light without burning each other. Cities, cultures, technology, media, money, art, policy, education, all of it can become a destructive weapon or an empowering instrument. In the hands of new humanity, it starts to sound like adoration. Uploads as offerings, policies as interventions, architecture as living parable, business as service, creativity as resurrection made visible. This is the trajectory. From humanity on the old path, brilliant but broken, looping violence and denial, to new humanity on the living path, honest, rewired, manifesting their restoration in public with trembling and joy. From empire as default to service as instinct. From religion as performance to presence as oxygen. From get me out of this world to help me rebuild it. Block by block, heart by heart, spark by spark. And you, sitting with your doubts, guard half up, maybe burned by religion, maybe tired of spiritual sales pitches, maybe allergic to anything that sounds like a trap. If there is anything in you that still refuses to stay fully cynical, if one small, stubborn warmth rises at the thought of a world less ruled by fear, then let this be more than poetry. This is your line in the script. The life of Emmanuel is unstoppable. It overcame death in him. It awakens new creation in us. It makes love possible after heartbreak. It makes courage possible after collapse. It makes creativity possible after silence. It makes new humanity possible after empire. Death could not hold him, and the life he carries cannot be buried in you. If you are still here, you may already be hearing the spark. If you want to keep walking this path, stay close. We are building this in public,
Story by story, repair by repair, heart by heart, spark by spark. Brillaris, Epic of the Living Path, a 6-part spoken word cycle for the new humanity waking up.